You guys know the routine. If you are logging in and you're drinking coffee, good old emoji. Boom, boom. You know the routine. You said volume's good, Thomas. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, gotcha. Can't do that. So give a couple of people. Looks like we got a couple. I got Klaus. Hey Klaus, hope you're doing well, bud. Chris Spack, Winker, Klaus. I'm not gonna lie, Klaus. I might be a little jealous. Sporting the pint, my friend. Thomas. See who else joins in. Good old Winker. Winker, you better be shooting is what you should be doing. Actually, you probably got your shooting done already for the day. This where did my list go? Oh, here it is. So I got to start shooting again this week. Coffee and work. All right, Chris. I got that's we all got to work somehow. Finally got to shoot again this week. Just been playing around with the hunting bow here in the yard. Feeling good. Thankfully, this side of my face, those of you who don't know, I like a complete idiot waited until my 40s to get my wisdom teeth out. I'm still a little bit swollen, but it's definitely gone down quite a bit. I got all 4 out on Tuesday and last week. And it was definitely, I would say yesterday was probably the first day that like I had no pain at all, just a lot of discomfort, but it's going in the right direction. So I am pretty pumped that I'm starting to feel healthy again. I'm also happy that I was working out so much prior to going under the knife, because shooting actually feels pretty good. Have not shot my bare bow rig, my target rig yet. I'll probably do that today, actually. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be going over to the shop here after we get done this and I finish up a few things. And I'm going to try to shoot out in the heat. It's supposed to be, it's probably going to be in the 90s by that time. It's probably already close to the 90s if it's not, and surpass 100. I want to get out and shoot in that heat. So Ted, I see you trying to log in on the coffee talk. I'll get you here in a second, as soon as I get through my my spiel. But so that's definitely, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I am going to shoot Outdoor Target Nationals. I have not signed up yet. I was on the fence about it. I wanted to wait till after surgery, make sure nothing came up. So I'll be doing that. I am going to ETAR. If any of you folks are going to ETAR, Eastern Traditional Archery Rendezvous, we'd love to see you there. If you get a chance, check in on that. I just want to go through some announcements quick before we kind of have just a BS session and talk bare bow shenanigans. Don't forget, tonight we record live. There will be a Facebook stream. So just the way it works, like we did some live recordings where people will come into the Zoom and stuff. We're reserving that for our Patreon. Those of you who haven't been following or haven't like watched YouTube and stuff like that, I started a Patreon page for the Bare Bow Project. Essentially, it's people who just like to support the project and everything we do and keeping the content open and free and continue to roll. I've produced more stuff in the last year than I ever have, because I'm doing all of this full time now. Well, coaching, that is. But so if you guys are interested in getting invites to the live recordings with the guests, You know, that's going to be reserved for our Patreons. So the patrons that are supporting the Bearville Project are kind of like a VIP access, sort of. So my um my thing is I want those people to be able to get some one-on-one time with the guests and ask questions and go through, you know, get those opportunities. So I just want you guys to know, and it's similar to like the coffee talk, which is open to the public. But the Bearville Project is you and the guests. So check out our YouTube page, check out the Facebook page, the Patreon link is there, you know, and it can be as little or whatever you want. I will be announcing, I will be doing a shooter shirt giveaway for our Patreon's subscribers. So if you have basically up until 8 p.m. tonight to sign up as a patron to get entered. Anybody who signs up as a patron gets entered to win a free shooter shirt. And anybody who is a patron for more than 3 months automatically gets a free t-shirt. So check that out. Let's see here. Don't forget, so tonight's recording, it will be streamed live on Facebook. It will be live in our listeners group. So you still get access to it. You just don't get to interact with it prior to the show starting or the podcast starting. So check that out. But you know, you guys will have the ability to watch the podcast live, and then obviously once the live stream is over, you can always refer to the YouTube version when that's edited and uploaded. So go check that out. Trying to think. Don't forget, on July 21st, we have the Choose to Be a Winner study group coming. That is for our, again, that's anybody can do that. Our patrons get to do it for free, as much as they, you know, plan to commit to the class. And that's a study group with Jens Fudge and myself. So we're basically going through the Choose to Be a Winner book. And, you know, Jen's going to highlight very important areas of that. And we're going to, as a group, apply it to your archery game. So that's something new, something that we've never done before. But, you know, in sort of Bearville Project fashion, like I have a pretty good scope of what's going on around the archery world and things that are available and things that are not, and what I know from, you know, from my training and the coaches that I've worked with. And that's definitely a piece in the archery community that is missing. And it's the ability for archers to work on their mental game with other archers. It's not uncommon in other sports. So why in archery we feel as though like you need to work on your mental game, just you? I don't know where that stigma has come from, but being able to work with someone that's the author of a book, and be able to work on your mental game as an individual and really do some reading and reflection. You know, this is the educator coming out in me, the teacher coming out in me. That's the way that you learn things. You do them, you read about them, and you write about them. And that's where, like, when you having the ability to talk with the people who are sort of leading that resource, I think is something that anybody can attend the class. The only stipulation is there's like a $20 you know, like a donation, and you have to own the book. You need to buy the Choose to Be a Winner book. So, you know, check that out. And then those of you who are my guests did try to log in. You guys come on in. Announcements are over, so you guys can pop back in. And I'll let you. I know I saw Ted and I saw somebody else. Let me see who else is checking in here. Martina, hello, Martina. Yes, Ted, definitely. Ted, if you want to hop in on the Zoom, you're more than welcome to now and have a chat. Hey, Paul. Hey, Spanky. Hope you're doing well, bud. Congrats this weekend, Spanky, on some solid shooting at the ASA. Oh, shout out Team USA people. Congratulations, men and ladies, on your Olympic berth. And okay, that's fine, Ted. No worries. I can't wait for the Olympics to start. I'm so pumped to watch our men and women shoot. I really am. Shout out to Mackenzie Brown. She did awesome. But those of you, you know what? I will pull up the link so that if you guys want to join in through the comments and choose and hop in on that, hop in on the live feed and chat on video, you're more than welcome to do that. There we go. So yeah, update on the surgery. Ted, now you see I can talk again. It's still pretty tender, I'm not gonna lie, but yesterday I got to eat like real food for the first time, so it was kind of cool. I'll tell you, I wish I would have gotten my wisdom teeth out earlier. Where I'm from, like dentists are just like, hey, if they're not bothering you, don't worry about it. And like 2 years ago, right before Outdoor Target Nationals last year, I got a real bad infection and my two lowers were impacted. So I went through that and ended up in like antibiotics, whatever. And then like a few months ago, I got a really, really bad infection. It was horrible. And I was like permanently swollen back here all the time. And then finally, lost insurance, got insurance, things changed, this changed. And then boom, like, that's it. I'm getting it done. I don't care if I miss all of tournament season. I don't care if I miss Target Nationals. I don't care what I miss. I just decided I was getting it done and then wasn't messing around anymore. And the recovery as you get older is definitely not fun. Yeah, absolutely, Ted. I am super proud too. Ted's commenting in regards to our Olympic team, and for those of you who are barebow shooters, and I know we're like, Olympic recurves, cheaters, stabilizers, sights, whatever. Listen, you have to understand the opportunity that we have to grow our sport, which means draw other barebow shooters in. People look at an Olympic recurve and it's like, whoa, what is all that? And because it's a little overwhelming at first, especially when you see that big, you see that the dip of the hand and all that stuff, and people are like, what in the world are they doing? And it's a little overwhelming for people. So barebow is simple because barebow is just like bink, and we hold it there and looks a little bit more calmer, a little bit less, it's one of the reasons I think barebow has grown so fast, and people take to it a little bit easier because there's less going on. You don't have release aids and compounds and this and that and all the extra stabilizers, and it doesn't look complicated. It's just you put the arrow on, you draw it back, you shoot it. Little to our surprise, it definitely has its moments of being complicated. Which in discussing that, so I handed around about writing a book, right? I think a couple coffee talks ago. I have started writing a book. The book is going to be about coaching barebow. I am almost done the introduction, and it is going to basically discuss. If you hear barking in the background, I'm sorry. It's my dog. I am outside. This is coffee talk. I don't give a shit if my dog is barking. Anyway, FYI. The book is going to be about coaching barebow in its entirety, but it's going to talk about how I coach the barebow and what I have learned from working with and interviewing and talking with elite barebow shooters across the world. So it's not going to be, this is how you do it. It's going to be, this is how I do it and how it's produced yes, this might be a little bit of a pat in the back, how it produced two national champions, one silver in indoor nationals this past year in just barebow. And how when you have an opportunity to train a blank slate, so that is a new shooter that has no bad habits, and you can develop them within a 2 or 3 year period to the top of the list. What are the things that I do in order to make that happen? And what are the things that I have learned from guys like John Demmer and Grayson and Dillinger, and Eric Johnson, who has been very, very supportive of I've talked to Eric multiple times. Eric sends me video. We chat about his form. I actually have a video review of him coming. And people like that, where Mike Fisher, where you can take that collective information and put it in one resource for barebow shooters. So that's what my book is going to be about. So I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, again, it's kind of one of those things where I think it's necessary. So I'm sure it'll have the barebow project. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. I haven't defined that. It might be the barebow project book. I don't know. I have no idea, but I have started it and I'm excited for it. And, you guys will get a little bit of an insight into how this journey started in the very beginning, but it's strictly about that. So let me see here. Ted, Spanky, I keep getting notifications that Spanky Brooks is watching. I don't know why, Spanky. Maybe we keep leaving and coming back. I'm not sure. Chris Spack, would be nice if it was going to be highlighted on Prime TV coverage. Doubt it. You must be talking about the Olympic trials. I think it is, actually. I think it's supposed to be available. I don't know where. I'm sure it'll be around, or there's got to be a way. I've got to think there's a way to see it. Charles is grabbing some more coffee. Definitely not as sensitive right now. So anyway, anybody else? Man, I was hoping some of you guys would hop onto the Zoom and chat with me. I'm a little disappointed. John Winker, where are you at? Oh, John's going to shoot. I missed that. John, awesome. I know you're not on right now, but go get it. I'm definitely in a Ted, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm writing it. But I'm also in a unique position because I'm so heavily involved with coaching kids. There's a lot of people out there that claim to be coaches, but they don't work with kids. And anybody can take a shooter that's already got talent, fix a few things, and then claim that they did this awesome stuff. But taking a clean slate and taking a shooter that has no idea what they're doing and then leading them into a path of some kind of success. I don't care what that success is. Success is just hitting the target on the first arrow, but developing in that way. I just taught, there's a wasp flying around me. I just taught the basic, look at this guy, basic S3DA course, an annual course or a virtual course for S3DA. I'm the only one that teaches the virtual courses, and it was awesome. And these were, I would say 3/4 of the class were NASP for our friends from across the pond. In America, we have what's called the National Archery in the Schools program, and a bunch of those coaches were in that class. And I teach my classes the way that I teach or would teach a new shooter. So I don't just, because we are partnered with USA Archery, I have to teach basically the steps of the NTS. But even with the NTS, I break it into positions. So I don't necessarily, like, I'm not going to take an 8-year-old and run through 11 steps of the NTS. I'm not going to do that. But I'll still cover those steps, but I cover them in a different way. And so you break on it, and this class is taught so that not only are they learning the steps of the NTS and that they have to understand it, I also teach compound, Olympic recurve, and barebow. I don't know of any other instructors out there that teach a course so that coaches are being taught how to teach those three at their most basic, introduction. So I'm hoping, but I had amazing feedback on that course. Like it was good. And now we start the advanced S3DA course here this weekend. So, or no, Monday. So yeah, but pretty pumped about it. And the advanced S3DA course is definitely different. But yeah, I mean, in regards to writing the book and in regards to that, when it comes to like education and working with people, definitely in a unique position, especially with the podcast and the project. And, I think there's a lot of resources out there for compound archery. There's a lot of resources out there for Olympic recurve. The problem, or the reason I believe there's not a lot out there for barebow is because everybody's Olympic recurve and they want to just make barebow Olympic recurve. And it's just not the case. I watch some of the other content that's out there, and there's people out there who shot Olympic recurve and they're putting their twist on it, but they're people who haven't developed shooters and they haven't competed, not even on a national level in barebow. So, they're making recommendations based on what they do in their backyard. I don't like that, personally. My recommendations are based off of success. So my dogs are defending me from a gray squirrel right now. That's what they're barking at. There's a squirrel that is tormenting them up in a tree. Watch this. Hold on a second. That's what I thought. You go lay down. 2 narratives are needed: clean slate approach and identifying errors and weaknesses and established shooters with plans to correct. Yeah, that's definitely going to be part of the book, Ted. Somewhere along those lines, for sure. And I think Jesse, I think one of the things that's nice too is that working with guys like Dick Tone, Jay Bars, having a close relationship with Rob Koffold, having friends like Rod White and Justin Hewish, being able to tap into their plethora of experience and bringing that to the barebow world has been super beneficial. And I'd be lying to you if I don't cater some of my podcasts or the things that I talk about sometimes to help shooters that I work with. I'd be lying to you if I didn't. I do that. A topic will come up and it'll be something that I'm working on with a shooter or a specific shooter, and it will be a topic of discussion that is directly geared toward what they're dealing with and what kind of work, what kind of help they need. I do it all the time. It's the benefits of being a coach and being in the position I'm in. I'm stupid not to do that. I would do it for any of you. But I also, when it comes to like, mental game and this, like, people get so caught up on the wrong things. And, I'm hoping that with this book that I can streamline that process of, this is where you're at. This is what you need to work on. This is where you're going. and then how to get there. So let me look in the comments quick. Some can read lips, you know. I don't know what that means, Charles, but okay. Hi, Steve Kaufman, one of our USA Archery judges. Jack, how you doing? Got the coffee emoji. Listen, people, if you are drinking coffee, you're supposed to put a coffee emoji in the comments. That's all I got to say about that. Nate Wallace, I don't know how I missed yours. Hey, bud. I don't know if you're still here. Oh, John, you did comment back again. You guys have any questions? Like I said, if those of you that want to log in around like 7:45, and I'm live. Sarah, you don't want to come over and be on live feed with me? She gave me the thumb down. She doesn't want to be on camera. Looking for the coffee. You better find that coffee, Steve. Yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. My wife distracted me. Today's coffee talk is sponsored by you. You can put it all together. It's definitely one of my favorite t-shirts, not gonna lie. I might wear this at ETAR. Who's coming to Darrington? Darrington, Indiana? What's in Darrington? What am I missing? Tell me. Waiting for that comment, Steve. I don't know. I was thinking. Oh, field nationals. Oh yeah, I am not. I believe Maggie is. She's the only shooter I have that's going. I believe. I'm sure Demmer will. I'm assuming Demmer's going to go. I think Dillinger's going for sure. I don't know who else. If you guys that are on this coffee talk right now, if you are going, you know, go ahead, comment, tell us if you're going to field nationals. Thomas says he would like to see more of Dick Tone. I'm still not sure what the natural method is. We'll go take the clinic. Go take the clinic, Tom. Dick Tone's natural method. Well, for those of you, first of all, before I go too deep down this rabbit hole, for those of you who are interested in the natural shot method by Dick Tone, it's going to be a series, but go over to the Archery Coach Cast on YouTube and watch the last podcast I did Monday with Dick, Larry Wise, and Doc McCune. Watch that podcast. That's probably the first installment of what we'll be talking about. You want to know more, you can go and watch the J Bars podcast as well, the Archery Coach Cast. Now, remember, Archery Coach Cast is not all barebow at all. I bring the barebow to it, but it includes everything. Dick Tone's approach to coaching is so much more than form. There's even some small differences in my approach to barebow to what Dick views it as, but Dick's method of getting to alignment, and there's a very specific step in the draw to load portion of, in reference to the NTS and the steps in that part of the draw cycle, that helps you get into alignment in a more comfortable way. So, you know, Dick did say they're looking at doing a seminar at the is there an Easton Center maybe in Salt Lake City, somewhere out there, again, and maybe one in the fall back here on the East Coast. But I would for sure, if you have the opportunity, take that shooting seminar. I think the most valuable portion for me was that I actually have gone back in some ways to my old form, because I came from a generation that learned while Dick was a prominent coach, and I learned to shoot Olympic recurve that way. I continued shooting that way up until I took my level 4, made a abrupt change, and now I have reverted back. In some ways it's more of a combination of both. I will clearly say I am not 100% NTS at all anymore. I was for a minute. I was not 100%, 90%. Now it's much less. You know, maybe that's a discussion for another day, but that's I don't want to go down that road right now. Just had a call from Lancaster Archery. Well, 717. I know it was them. Did I order something? I don't think I did. Moving to barebow is tougher because there are few local barebow shooter brains to be picked. Charles, where are you from? I might be able to help you with that. Yes, it is. You know, and that's kind of how the barebow project started, because I have talked to a ton of people. I do not know anyone that can provide the feedback and information in regards to barebow that has more than John Demmer. Grayson is a close number 2. Grayson also lives a different life and he's younger, you know, he's got a lot of things going on, you know, engaged, building a house, like they have a bunch of stuff. He's out of the spotlight. But when it comes to this, like those two are directly responsible for my ability to have been as successful with like the coaching side and the shooting side. I mean, I'm moderately successful as a shooter. I wouldn't call myself you know, a barebow great by any means. Spanky Brooks is a barebow great, in my opinion. You know, those guys have been on the circuit for a long time. All I can say is that I had a very quick rise, but it was because of access to information. And I don't think that my fit into the community has to be as one of like, I don't need to, it's not in the shooting aspect. It's in a more of an educational aspect. I want other people to have access to the information that I did that allowed me to do this really fast, really early. And then for them to so that, because collectively then all of barebow is going to get better. Hope that isn't too cliche, but that's what I'm talking about. You take all of the information that surrounds the struggles of coaches that have barebow shooters, that have youth programs, that have barebow shooters that are just struggling in general. You know, we complicate target panic so much. We complicate tuning so much. We complicate everything, and we really make barebow so much harder than it needs to be. So, you know, I think that's where I feel like that's where my fit in the community is sort of that liaison between everyone else. Trust me, I love competing. I do. That's how I came into archery. I love competing, but you know, I don't as a competitor, I don't know if that's where my biggest benefit to the community is. So, but it takes time to do this stuff, and trying to do it full time is difficult. So like all of your support over the last 2 years and stuff, I can't tell you guys how much that means. And definitely want to do a seminar again here in the near future. We tried to do one, COVID hit, all that nonsense. It really ruined a good thing. So probably going to schedule a new seminar here very soon with with John and Grayson, if Grayson's able to make it or not. Jesse, have trouble with adjusting my knock sets on my strings, so keeps my arrows flying partly. I'm right on the edge, so I can just bump my button. String knock to be point on at 50 meters. Okay. Yeah, I set my tune up for the game that is being played. If I am shooting 50 meters, my tune is set for 50 meters. That's it. If I'm going to go play 3D, which I really don't play much spare bow 3D, I'm not going to lie. It's just not my thing. I'd rather shoot a compound. I just don't enjoy 3D that much, I guess. I'll shoot a heavier arrow, so I don't have a as big of a crawl. I do not like a 2-inch crawl for 10 yards, 15 yards. I can't stand that. 20 yards. Ooh, that hurt. Definitely still sensitive. And now that I'm talking more, it's starting to get sensitive. I see. Yeah, Steve, I always do that. I set the bow up for the game, and I set my bow for indoor versus outdoor because that's primarily what I shoot, as close to the same as possible. I don't like face walking. I don't change my anchor. I want my feel of my shot and my form to be as identical as possible for the indoor game and the outdoor game. It's just my theory. It's less I have to adjust to, less changes I need to make. That's my approach. So like what I mean by that is I want as small of a crawl as possible for 18 meters and as small of a crawl as possible for 50 meters. I still anchor at the corner of my mouth with my thumb behind my jaw. I feel as though that is the best location for me for alignment purposes. And this, I say that, and I should also reference, similar to the way Rick Stonebreaker shoots, this pad goes up to my cheekbone. And I teach that. I'm not a fan of the forward anchor. But you can't argue that it does work, because I've watched Dillinger just absolutely destroy people, and that's the way Dillinger shoots. He also shoots a little bit of a lower poundage, lighter arrow, and I think there's a reason behind that, those guys that shoot that forward anchor have a tendency to shoot a lower poundage, or a little bit, they might be a little bit further out on their fingers. So, but yeah, anyway, arrow tail is up at impact. You move the strings. If my arrow tail is up at impact, do you move my string knock sets up so arrow impact is close to level? You need to, this is what I would do. I would bear shaft 15, 20 yards, get that as close as you can. If you want to go and bear shaft out to 50, you're more than welcome to, but and if you're having some like crazy like flight issues or impact issues that are random, you probably have contact somewhere, so you need to reevaluate your setup. What fletchings are you using? What stiffness are you? Are you too stiff? If you're too, I doubt you're too weak. If you're too weak, typically, well, you'll know on your impacts. But yeah, I don't. I'm not sure if I understand, Jesse, what you're asking. With that, like I said, I strictly tuned for 50 meters. So, when I tune for 50 meters, I know my tune is good. Yeah, I would go back to even tiller. And yeah, if you can get a bear shaft to work at 40 meters, you're damn close for 50 meters. I would go back to even tiller. I mean, if you can get away, if you like a positive tiller, then run with it. But I honestly keep everything even for all the games. No, at my anchor, the string does not touch my nose at all. I don't hit my nose at all because I don't move my head. I'm gonna. This isn't a podcast, but it is being recorded, so I'll probably put it on YouTube page. I do not advocate for moving your head as you come into anchor. Just I'm put that out there. There's a lot of opinion on that. Don't move your head. Move it as minimal as possible, if you must. Anchors, my arrows are. I mean, if you're left and right, that's probably a plunger. If you got a lot of whip, you gotta start playing around with your plunger springs if you have that, unless you have a whiffler. Awesome piece of equipment right there. You should probably look at spine and all that other stuff. Weight, spine, length, tip weight. Start with the medium spring and then go from there. And I'm disclaimer on plungers and springs. Depending on how consistent your release is, you could get false tunes. You may have to go one direction or the other. There's no guarantee that, because of whatever your arrow setup is, if you have like a heavier arrow setup, that lighter spring might not work. If you're a stiffer spine, that lighter spring may work. You gotta try it all. Just try it all until you can put it together. You'll know when you have a final tune because your groups will just go like that. If you're still shooting good shots and you're getting flyer arrows and it's a good shot, you may have a false tune. And that's a common issue. People are so worried about tune, but they can't keep a softball sized group at 20 yards. I'm like, you gotta do better. You just gotta do better at your form and your shot process before you can get all bent out of shape over tuning. 120 grain tip and an X impact 600 spine, 30-inch knock, groove to carbon. Yeah, I don't. I would have to know what your poundage is. Yeah, Jack, Fred Lundermark. I think you need to look at years of service there. I'm telling you, don't teach a new shooter to do that. So let's clear that up real quick. Frederick is an amazing shooter, but he's also been shooting for decades. So, and you're comparing apples to oranges. When you're teaching a new shooter and working with a shooter who's having issues, get rid of it. I hope that so people understand. Anybody can shoot good with any form if you do it repeatedly and you do it long enough. But if you're having problems, don't start tilting your head like Frederick, thinking that your problems are going to go away. There you go. Yeah, so back to Jesse's, just as we were troubleshooting some stuff going on here. So he's basically saying 37 pounds, 600 spine, 30-inch knock. Sounds about right. You actually might be 30-inch. You might be borderline under spine, actually. You could probably make it work. It sounds about right. But I mean, I've shot 600s up, almost this identical setup, but I would only have 110 grains in the tip. So 110, 100, yeah, around 110, I think. 100, 110, 90. I've played it with all of them. I don't remember where I settled at. I think 110. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think they are. I really don't. You really should be able to make that work. But I mean, you can't go any heavier than 120 grain tip in an X impact, I don't think, unless you buy a different point to put in it. So, but hey, you play around with it, man. If they're stiff, you have them cut to 30 inches. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah, I think you drop down a little bit. Again, you can, like I said, you can get a false tune easily with an arrow and a plunger setup. You get up to 50 meters, you can't hold a group worth a dump. It can be frustrating. So, all right. Oh man, I still have a lot of coffee left here. I'm drinking it slow because I still get, like, my teeth are still sensitive. I have ice in it because I didn't do hot coffee this morning. It's way too warm. Ooh, yeah, that is sensitive. Anything else, people? If not, I got through what I wanted to get through and chat about. Coffee's just about there. Ted, you're a smart one. You're a smart one. Huh. Yeah, I'm not quite that bad yet, Ted. Give it some time though. Give it some time. Otherwise, I think I got everything covered. Coffee's just about gone. It is getting warm outside. That's the other thing. Those of you guys are preparing for field nationals, target nationals, whatever tournament of choice. Make sure you guys are practicing in the conditions that you most likely will face when you are competing. If it's hot out, go shoot. If it's raining out, go shoot. If it's windy, go shoot. Embrace the suck. And you thank me later. All right, guys and girls, if there's any that are left, thanks for joining in on this luxurious coffee talk episode. I'm gonna shut her down. Got some things to do. I got some bows to go build at the shop and get some work done and try to get some arrows in myself now that I can start shooting again. That's it. All right. Peace out.